movements. I mean, most OT8s I know can't touch their toes. The higher up you get, the worse it gets.
How far did you get up the bridge?
I got up to clear, and I actually completed the highest thing on the bridge you can, is the L's. You know what I mean? The L's are technically higher than the OT levels. So the L's stand for list. List 10, list 11, list 12. They're a series of like really advanced processes that Hubbard developed in, I think, 73, when he was on the ship in the Mediterranean. So what it is, it's the L's I wouldn't, see, Scientology isn't necessarily therapy, you know what I mean? It's processes to awaken and to improve human ability. So I think like the difference between going into therapy and with an analyst or a psychologist is very different. Like the goal is very different. And the L's are the hyper version of that philosophy, is that they're exclusively for like the rapid unleashing of somebody's innate potential or something to that effect. So what they are basically is a series of questions very similar to any other kind of auditing. Of all three, the L10 questions are definitely the most interesting, because L10 deals with what Hubbard referred to as whole track overts. So these are things in past lives that you've done that would be considered like a sin in the Judeo-Christian traditions, like bad things you've done in past lives. So the questions are very direct, very I don't even know what I don't remember, have you ever killed anybody? Have you ever raped anybody? Have you ever, stuff like that. And expressed and phrased and kind of like grammatically structured in a variety of ways.
Did you go through sec checks?
I did one sec check at the end before I left. Yeah.
How long did that take?
That lasted maybe 2 or 3 days, I think. 3 or 4 days. It was just a short one. It was like a tailor-made, maybe like 10 questions. Yeah, because basically what happened was I was like complaining and saying this isn't really, I don't really want to be here anymore towards the end. So their solution was, Brian must have done something wrong, let's sec check him. So it's funny, I left at the end of the sec check, I was like, peace out guys, I'm out of here. So most of the times what they do does the opposite effect, you know what I mean? So yeah. One of the things too that Hubbard's, one of Hubbard's basic principles in terms of management was this idea of managing by statistics, or using quantification to manage human subjectivity. And I find it so interesting because you can turn that back on Scientology so easily. The Boston organization, this is a perfect example. The Boston organization has, on a really good day, I'll give them 400 parishioners. They really have about 200, but let's just say 400, okay? The Boston organization has 200,000 files of people who had been either bought books there, did a service there, did something like that. Now you look at the statistics of 200,000 divided by 400. I mean, what is that percentage-wise? Not very high. It's less than 1%. So, this tells you the effectiveness of Scientology. And this tells you using Hubbard's own methods, using quantifying human interaction, human experience, according to Hubbard, is a way to manage people. So you take that, you look at the Boston org as a case study, Scientology is worthless. It doesn't work. It's horrible. 99% of the people that go in the door don't come back. Now they will never, ever even think about going there. Ever. Which is sad. Which is dishonest. Which is not living up to the ideals of what a religion should live up to, is honest, open communication, transparency, all these things.